Hello, this is my theater reflection for Thursday, January 14th, 2010. Our last theater class of the year. Very sad. This class, we basically just did our monologues, worked on those, and did a little improv at the end, which was fun. But I want to use this reflection to sort of as like a final reflection, to like go back into the year. I, even though I was pretty outgoing and extroverted at the beginning of the year too, I think I've still like grown as a person and learned a lot. For instance, I really like the pantomiming um, activities we did because I always took for granted, like, just like random acting, throughout the day, like just like impersonating or whatever. You always seem to take for granted like if you're opening a jar, you always seem to take for granted of putting the lid back on. You know what I mean? And I think that really helps just learning like how all these motions come into effect during the performance or day to day life. I also like learning the history of theater because I'm a history buff in general. So history of theater was nice, considering I haven't learned anything about that, and I found it fascinating, like how a lot of theater originated from these stories by griots, way back in the day, and ancient Egyptians, ancient Greeks, and ancient Romans. It's all really interesting, and just how it's developed so much over the years. And personally, I think I've developed as a person because I'm like at the beginning, like I've always liked improv, but improv was always something like, oh, I can't think of any good idea. But I realized by the end of the semester that there really doesn't matter. Improv is anything. Whatever you start to do is, someone's gonna go with it. The other person, and it doesn't matter. You're not gonna be judged by any audience. No one really cares what you do. It's just something that you do and just for fun and see what reaction you get out of it. It could be funny, it could be serious, whatever, and you just got to think of it on the spot, and it doesn't matter what it is. And I loved seeing the rest of the class progress too, because at the beginning of the year, some of them I barely knew, some of them I did know. A lot of them I did know, but some of them I barely knew, and a lot of them I could tell or knew were very introverted, very like shy and whatnot. But by the end of the semester, I some of them have been pulling out like the best work I've seen in the class, and it's really awesome to see. Just like how someone who could be so shy, so quiet at first, really can get into acting and develop that sort of other side of their personality, and that's really exciting to see. Uh, and again, like I've with theater, like going back to stage, like I mean, if I didn't do a stage play last year, I'd probably be experiencing the same thing. Like I've always, ever since the beginning of middle school, I've been somewhat outgoing, but acting and theater has really uh, made me extra outgoing, extra extroverted, and just really comfortable with myself. And I learned that I could be myself whenever I want to be, and that's always been important to me. So this class has been really awesome, and I may or may not do IB theater. Hopefully, I will, but I don't know. I still got to think about some things, but it was a good semester. So that concludes my theater reflections for the year 2009, the year 2010 for theater sophomore year. Goodbye.